welcome back to the Siren stream. Each one of these, we're going to focus on trying to integrate with a new technology with SvelteKit. Today, we're going to be working with some GraphQL and databases, specifically FaunaDB. We have Shadid Haque here, a developer advocate at Fauna, with us to help lead the way. Do you want to give a brief intro, Shadid?
Yeah, hey, I'm Shadid. I've been a developer for about 6 years now, and currently I'm working as a dev advocate at Fauna. Really excited to be here. So yeah, let's get started.
Awesome. We're excited to have you. I'm excited to get started and see what we need to do to get Fauna integrated with SvelteKit. So let me move over. We'll get started kind of right away. If our faces get in the way, I might switch over to the cinema layout, but actually, let's do that one for now. I will zoom in a little bit more. So what do we need to do to get started with this? We probably need to net a new SvelteKit application, right? Okay, so to do that, we're just going to run npm init svelte at next, and we want to call our app. We're just going to do FaunaDB SvelteKit. And that will go ahead and start our process. We will hit yes to proceed. And what do we want to do today?
Yeah, so let's start with the skeleton project.
Okay.
Yeah, and usually I use TypeScript, but for this one, let's just not use TypeScript.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
All right. And what about ESLint and Prettier?
Yeah, let's use those.
Okay.
All right.
I like to use those too. Sometimes they're helpful. So we will change directory into that, called it FaunaDB SvelteKit. And I'm going to go ahead and open that up.
Yep.
And we'll open that terminal back up and we'll do our npm install. And should I go ahead and run the dev server after this, or are we going to do something else before that?
No, let's just run the dev server. Let's see the application.
Yeah. npm run dev here and get that started up. Should be over here. Refresh that. And there we have it. We have our skeleton project. We'll minimize the terminal a little bit here. And
awesome.
Here we go.
All right.
So what's our first steps?
All right. So the first step, we're going to need a GraphQL client. I'm going to so I really like URQL.
URQL. I like to call it URQL.
Yeah, I really like that. So let's just go ahead and install URQL and GraphQL.
Okay. I'll open up a new terminal here, and we're going to do that npm I, and are these dev dependencies? Whoa.
Yeah, they're dev dependencies.
I don't know what that was. I think that must have been a StreamYard feature to like zoom into where you are. I've never seen that before. So dev dependencies, and then it's at URQL.
Yeah, slash Svelte. And space GraphQL.
GraphQL. Okay. Hit enter on that. Move my cursor out of the way so we can see what's going on. Okay, those are installed. We can see URQL and GraphQL.
All right, awesome. So next, we just have to configure our client. So let's just create a new file under source. We can call it client.js.
Just under the source directory?
Yeah, under the source.
Okay, and client.js?
Yeah, and here, we're going to first import the create client from URQL. And import
the camel case?
Yeah, create client. I think you have to do the curly braces.
Brackets or braces, yep.
Yep. Yep. So
is it at that? There we go. Okay.
And then we can export default, and we create the client. So yeah, and here round bracket and then curly bracket. And here what we can do, we first specify the URL. So you can open that up, open the curly braces up, and pass in a first parameter.
What's the URL? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we can do URL is a string. URL is going to be a string, and the URL will be https graphql.fauna.com.
HTTPS graphql.fauna.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'm just going to send you this whole object kind of
URL. And so I kind of see what's happening now. So we need an object with some properties. So we need a URL property.
Yeah.
And is that / GraphQL? Let's see what we've got here.
Yeah.
On the end / GraphQL.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we can pass a fetch options. We can pass a fetch options function. So it's gonna be an arrow function there.
Okay.
And yeah, and in the arrow function, yeah, it returns. Yeah, you can. Yeah, in the arrow function, you can do a const token. So you can create a new const. It's going to be a token, and here we're gonna import the public fauna key.
Okay, so we're going to have to create an environment variable here.
Yeah, we're going to create an environment variable.
All right, so we'll
yeah,
go ahead and write that out, and then we'll go and create it. We haven't created this yet. So import.meta.env is kind of a Vite specific thing. If you're not familiar with that, it's how you have to prefix all of your environment variables in Vite projects. Fauna key. Okay.
All right, and then we could do return an object, and this object will be.
Is that inside of this?
Yeah, that's inside.
Fetch options. Okay. Return a new object with headers.
Yeah, with headers, and yeah, the headers is an object, which has an authorization key.
Authorization. Help if I could spell. Token.
Yeah, if the token exists, then we just make it like a string concatenation. So it's a bare token.
Oh, we're doing, okay, I see. Or,
yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I think you can do backtick there. So
yeah, those are backticks.
Okay.
Sorry. My font might look a little strange. Okay, and then we're going to do the
token.
Get the variable in there for token. So we're saying it's either the token, if that exists, or it's this bearer token.
Yeah. All right.
And then, or.
Yeah, or you can just keep it an empty string.
Just an empty string. Okay.
Yeah. I think your or thing or
is in my backticks. You are right. It is.
All right.
Okay.
All right. That's about it. I think we're getting like some sort of lint error somewhere.
There is. Alias create client. A semicolon is expected. Is this export default as correct?
Oh, no. You don't need to use as.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. Now let's save it. And there is. These are just.
I had a comma there instead of a semicolon. So that was that error. All right. So now we need to create our environment variable.
Yeah. So let's just create a .env file. And,
just in the root here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to touch.env. And I'll create a new .env file. And what do we call that? I want to copy this to make sure that I don't mess that up. The public fauna key is equal to, and so now we need to get the fauna key, right?
Yeah. So now we're just going to sign up for fauna and then create a key, create a public key.
Okay. So we need to go over here to Fauna, and I don't think I have an account yet. So we're going to sign up for free.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah, you can sign up through GitHub.
I have never seen this Netlify auth. I love this. I use Netlify all the time, but for Netlify, I use GitHub. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my GitHub. I think that's probably easier.
And you don't really need any credit card or anything, so that's always
Awesome.
handy.
Go away. Oh no, 2FA. You're going to burn me right now. Oh, 2FA is on my phone, which I'm using as my camera.
You just want to do email sign up, maybe.
Yeah, I want to do a different kind of sign up then. Wow.
Or maybe if you have a Netlify account, perhaps.
Well, Netlify is going to trigger me to do GitHub, which is going to trigger. Maybe I will just do Brittney at codingcat.dev and create a password. Sorry about that. Yeah, and Milosic. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher your name, Gabriel. But I had that as there by accident, so I removed that, as you could see. All right, never save. What is your goal with Fauna? So we want to build a new application. We are working on a personal project, and my database experience is, I mean, very little, but 1 to 2 years. So my preferred language is JavaScript, and I found out about Fauna through
Twitter?
I'm going to say social media because it was through Rob Sutter and perfect.dev. We had Rob on, so I'll submit that. And then we just want to get started. So should I just X this out?
Yeah, let's just not do the tutorial.
Awesome.
All right, so yeah, let's create a new database. All you have to do, click the button. And for region, we can use Classic. Classic is in the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do we want to call this? Sirens? Svelte sirens?
Yeah, Svelte sirens.
Does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we don't want to use any demo data because we have our own data. So.
All right, and we'll create that.
All right, perfect. So we're all set pretty much. Now all we have to do, we are going to go to the security.
Okay.
And create. Let's just create a new role. So you'll see up top. Yeah. So let's create a new role, and we're gonna, just
a new custom role.
Yeah, and we can call this. We don't have to do anything here yet because we don't have any data, but you can change the name of the new custom role to Svelte Sirens or something like that.
Sirens role. Okay.
All right, and there you go. And now we can go back to the key tab.
Okay.
And create a new key.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah. So you see, we didn't pick admin on purpose because security stuff. So yeah, let's
awesome.
Yeah, so you can name your key whatever you want if you want to. This makes it easy.
Okay, and then we just hit save here.
Yeah. All right, there you go. That's your key. Now, all you have to do is just copy that key.
Okay.
And you can create as many of these keys you want, as long as it's you're keeping track of them and you don't.
And this key is secret, so we will be saving this and redoing it after the stream. Correct? Is that it's not a public API key?
So this one, since we're gonna expose this one to the public, but
okay.
That's why I created that role.
The role for sirens. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So we're gonna restrict it so nobody else can use it. So we're gonna get to that. All right. Okay. All right. So we're pretty much done here. Now, what we have to do, we can go back to our code, and we can create a schema, a GraphQL schema.
Okay, how do we get started doing that? Do we need to create a new file?
Yeah. So let's create a new file called schema.graphql, and
In the source folder again?
we can put it outside the source folder. It doesn't really have
Okay.
to be. Yeah, let's put it outside.
Just in the root?
Yeah, just in the root.
Okay, and we're going to call that, you said schema?
.graphql, yes.
Is it full GraphQL or is it GQL?
It's full GraphQL.
Okay.
All right, so now, so now let's just create some types. So let's create a type speaker because we're kind of creating an application where we can track speakers in the show. So,
Okay.
All right, so yeah, and then speaker will have an email of the string type. Yeah.
I'm kind of familiar with GraphQL. Am I doing this syntax correctly with, there's no commas between this and it's just broken out?
Actually, you have to do something like this. So let me just give you a sample one. So basically,
oh, it's like an object.
Yeah, it's like an object.
Okay, so email, and we have to give it the type. That's right.
Yeah.
String. And then what were the other?
Yeah, so we can do first name, last name, which is also string.
First camel case or just lowercase?
Everything is lowercase.
Lowercase, okay. And all of these are strings. Last name. What does the exclamation point on the end of the string mean?
Yeah, so so if you're coming from TypeScript, that means like you have to have something in there. You cannot have it empty.
Required.
Yeah.
So with this picture one, we're not going to put that because it's not required, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
People can have.
Bio.
Yeah. It's not required. And okay, so talks. This is a has many relationship. So so talks is an array of talk. Again, if you're familiar with some TypeScript, that's where it's coming from. So yeah, you can do
an open array, and then you said of talk, singular. Okay.
Yeah, and we're going to create the talk model. So we're going to create the talk model, and we're going to associate the talks with speaker. So speakers has many talks, right?
Yep.
So just to do that, we're going to do a directive. So space there, and we can write at relation. So that way the schema knows that this is a has many relation. So speakers has many talk.
Just like that. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
It's perfect.
We can save that.
And we're gonna do type talk, and
okay, and that needs a title, description,
a video URL, and all right, and a speaker.
And this one is the type speaker that we just created, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Awesome. I think at this point we can just go ahead and okay. We also want to list all our talks and all our speakers, right?
Oh, okay.
So we can create a type of query. Type, and then all right. And so query types are just they're just queries. So let's say you want to get all the talks, or you want to get all the speakers from the database. That's why we put that in the schema. So you can say talks, which is all the talks, and you can open bracket and put talk.
Okay.
Talk model. And Fauna is actually smart enough to recognize these, and it will just create our collection and put them together. Same with speakers.
So we don't have to do that relation again?
No, we don't have to do that.
Okay, awesome. And another open array and speaker. Okay.
All right. Okay, and let's save it.
Right.
And now we can go to Fauna again on the dashboard.
Okay.
All right, and you'll see at the bottom second bottom, there's a GraphQL thing. Okay, now we just import our schema. So import the schema, and
Oh, we got to find it. Oh, this is going to be fun.
oh no.
Oh no, I got it. First try.
There you go.
Awesome.
Okay.
That is a cool feature. I've never seen that before. And I did want to point out that someone was saying about the secret key shows on video, but Shadid said that we were going to make that public, and we created a role for that. So that is why it is able to be shown, and we don't have to delete it after the stream.
Yeah, you can't do anything with this secret key. Don't worry.
Okay. Just wanted to point that out.
Awesome. All right. So now, if you have played with GraphQL Playground a little bit, you're probably familiar with this. So you can open up the docs there at there, and you'll see like all the queries, all the mutations available to us, right?
Okay.
So now what we can do, we can straight away create some data and then pull it in our Svelte application. So what I can do, what we can do is we can create a new speaker.
Okay. Do we do that with this?
Yeah. So
Okay.
create the speaker. Okay. So you kind of have to type it in.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're going to say mutation and the name of the mutation. So
mutation, create speaker.
And then curly braces. And I think you have to close the curly braces.
It's closed down here.
Okay. All right. So then you just write create speaker there. All right, create speaker, and then round bracket.
Okay.
And yeah, it will start auto completing for you. So data, yes, that's what we want. And then semicolon. What do you call this one? The two dots.
Oh, the colon. Okay.
Yeah, the colon. Yeah, and then the colon, and then it's gonna be an object. So it takes an object. Yeah, curly braces actually, not square braces. So it is going to be something like this. I will just share the code with you. It's going to be something like that.
Create speaker object, and so we're just populating some stuff in here. So we've got create speaker, we've got the data, it's a new object, and we're just going to give a first name, kind of populates all this stuff. I'll just put mine in here.
Yeah. And first name, you need first name.
There needs to be a comma between these.
Yeah.
Okay. First name, last name, Postma.
And
email. At codingcat.dev. And are single quotes okay in here?
I don't think so. I think GraphQL
have to be double quotes. I was like, it's mad at me. Like the red, I can just tell it's like not liking something. One of those colors that draws your attention to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the GraphQL Playground is handy. However, like I know a lot of people like to use like other tools, like Apollo Playground or things like that. You can connect with Fauna, by the way, with those tools. If you're a GraphQL wizard, if you want to do that.
Okay, do we need anything else in this create speaker object? I think that was everything. The picture's optional, so we don't have to do that.
Yeah, so now we need a return type because we wanna know like if it's getting created.
Okay.
So so after that you're gonna create another curly braces. So yeah, and then you can just do underscore ID. So that will be the ID for that.
Populates that there, and
you can also do first name, last name if you want.
First name and last name. So that's going to return all of those back to us.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I would put them in like I would put them on different lines like I do.
Oh yeah. I gotcha.
Otherwise they will just show up weird. All right, so now what we can do, you can just hit the play button and it will just create a collection. There you go.
So we got the ID, we got the first name and last name back that we asked for.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so now let's just create a talk for this speaker. So what you can do here, if you scroll up here a little bit, yeah, so you see you can create another tab, right? Yeah, right there. All right, so now let's just create a talk and associate the talk with the speaker. All right, so we're going to do the same thing, mutation, and then create talk. And yeah, and then we're going to do create talk and then data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is that's supposed to be round braces, right? Or no, is it curly braces?
Yeah, it's curly braces. Yeah.
And then the create talk has the round braces.
Yeah, yeah. And then data, and
there we go.
Same format. Yeah, you get the hang of it after all.
So FaunaDB with SvelteKit. And
all right. And then the for video URL, I'm just gonna put a YouTube video ID here for you. So for video URL, you could just copy that, copy paste it there.
Is that just an ID?
Yeah, you can just use the ID. We can.
Okay.
Yeah, we can plug it from YouTube after.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, and description, you can just put whatever in the description, do a string. And finally, we have speaker and connect. And this is going to be that ID from your previous mutation. So if you could just, go back.
Can we go over to create speaker and grab that?
Yeah, so grab that ID
and throw that in a string.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're also going to return some data back to us on this.
Yeah. So we can return the ID and the title.
Okay.
Yeah. I think ID is like an underscore ID.
Yeah, I got that in there. It kind of auto-populated it for me.
All right, awesome. Okay, let's hit the play button and that will generate it.
All right, fantastic.
All right, so we're pretty much set. We have data in the database. We got our client set up. So now all we have to do is pull the data. All right, so let's get back to our code.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so let's go to index.js and inside routes. So here we can pull in all the speakers for inside our database, which is going to be one.
Okay, so we're going to erase everything in the index.svelte file and start fresh here. So what's the first thing that we're going to do in the index.svelte file?
All right, so the first thing we're going to do, okay, let me just pull up my notes here as well. I also have this code. All right, so the first thing we can do, we're gonna import set client from URQL.
Do we want to do that in a script tag?
Yes.
Just in the regular script tag?
Yeah, we're gonna do. Yeah, and then we're gonna import the set client from
probably in braces there. Set client from, and is that from URQL again?
Yeah, URQL library.
Okay.
All right, so we're also going to get the operation store and query from the URQL library. So I'm just going to put that in there.
Do we have to do that on another line, or can we do that in the same?
You can do that in the same line.
Okay, so operation store, you said?
Yeah.
And query.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, awesome. So now we also need our client file. So we need to import client from client.
Outside of routes, and we need client.js. Okay.
All right, awesome. And so we bought in all the libraries. So the next step is to have URQL set up with our client.
Okay.
So we can do set client and the client object.
use that. And we're going to pass in the client.
Yeah.
Do that? Okay.
All right, perfect. So the next step is we're going to query all the speakers, okay? So how do we do that? We can create a new const and call it speakers. And we can create, we can create an operation store.
Okay.
And then operation store will have a round bracket. And inside the round bracket, we just put in the GraphQL query string. So inside the round bracket, we have 2 backticks. And inside the backticks, we're going to say query. And then query. And then
we're doing the speakers, right?
Yeah, the speakers, yes.
Speakers and data, and we want to get back all of those things that we have on the speakers. So first name, last name, bio, and picture. Is there a way to specify if picture is required or not here?
Not really. We have to do that in JavaScript.
Okay.
Well, if you leave out the picture, it's not going to pull in the picture at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what we can do next, we're going to just use query and then speakers. So query.
And pass in the speakers query we just created.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Right. Okay.
All right. So now we can just do, and now we can just open up the network tab and save it, and we can kind of see like if the network call is being made.
Okay. I'll move this over to the bottom here so we have it there. Network. All right. Oh, it's saying it failed.
Yep. So.
Whoops. I don't know what happened there. Did it just fail temporarily? Maybe I need to pull this back out. That is tiny.
Okay. That's fine. Let's take a look at what the error message is. I think it's just complaining that we don't have permission to pull the data.
So, okay, so the name is not resolved.
Okay.
Oh, I have a typo. In my URL, GraphQL. Oh my goodness. Okay. Will that automatically update everything now? Hopefully that worked.
I think we have to restart the server.
Okay.
Because
So we did that on this one and restart. And we'll see if that's populating now. Not seeing anything to Fauna in the network tab.
Yeah, right there. See GraphQL, so 200. Yep. Yeah, and it says permission denied, which is fine. That's exactly what we want. All right, so let's populate some HTML to see like it's kind of hard to debug it that way. So we can just create a h1 tag and back to our index Svelte. We can create a h1 tag and we can call it all speakers. And all right, so next, what we can do, we can use some of the template from Svelte, and we can say, well, if speakers is equals fetching, then just show the loading parameter.
We're going to use an if block.
Yeah, so we're going to do a if block, and then we're going to do $speakers fetching.
Okay, so is that a Svelte store?
Yeah, so
that kind of just set up under the hood for us.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
Yeah, so it's already subscribing to the loading state.
Awesome. Okay, so $speakers, and you said, is it .fetching?
Yeah, .fetching. So, and if it's fetching, then just show a loading. Just show some sort of like.
Okay, so
loading paragraph.
Something here.
Yeah.
Loading, and then we probably want an else block.
Yeah, let's do an else if block.
Okay.
So in the else if block, we can say is speakers.error, so $speakers.error, which is what we are going to see. It's going to show us the error, right? And here
Okay, so we actually want to put the error in here.
Yeah, we want to put the error in here.
Okay, so what is the error that would come back off of that?
So it's going to be $speakers error dot message.
Why are you doing that to me? Okay.
Right. And else, we're just, and if everything passes, we're just going to create like a UL. And then and here we're going to say in curly braces, we're going to say for each speakers.
We're going to loop over, so using our each block and Svelte, we're going to loop over the speakers. And how do we get that off the object?
So it's going to be speakers data. So speakers.data dot speakers dot data. I know.
It's like auto-populating this. Sorry. So speakers.data.
Dot speakers dot data.
Okay.
And you can do as speaker. So space as a speaker.
Okay. So we're going to call it a speaker just to reduce some of this.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to close that each block so I don't forget to do that. And inside of the each block, I'm assuming we're going to have a list item.
Yeah. And
since we have a UL there, and we will just put the speaker's name. So let's do an H2 with the, are we using it like speaker dot first name?
Yeah,
are
speaker. Yeah, speaker dot. Oh, I don't think you need the $sign for
no
that.
$sign there. Okay.
Yeah.
And space speaker dot last name. Oh, because it's now coming from the each block. I see.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much it. And now if you refresh this, we're going to see the error message. And permission denied. That's perfect. So we're going to go back to Fauna and then set up a read permission for our stuff.
Okay.
All right. So now let's hop back to security. And in the roles, we're going to go to the sirens role. And here you're just going to add a collection. And speakers. And then give read permission. The first one. Yeah. So, oh, no, you don't have to. You just have to click on the cross. And there you go.
Okay. So those correspond to these boxes below.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And then you can also do, you can just go to add collection again.
Here? And then talk. And then we need, okay.
Yeah. And then in the indexes, if you go to the indexes, let's just select all these and then give read permission to everything, because so indexes are the ones that the GraphQL client is going to use to find specific data. All right. And then we can just save it.
Save. Perfect.
All right. And
the role has been successfully updated.
All right. That's it. And now if we go back to our app and
refresh here.
There you go. And
there we go.
We're connected now, and that's how you use Fauna with SvelteKit.
Amazing. Awesome.
All right. Okay, so what we can do next, we can try to pull. What can we do next? We can try to.
You want to do like a talks page?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay, so we'll just create a new route since we've got that file system based routing called talk. Well, let's do talks plural .svelte. And in this route, what could we do? We're going to do something similar. Should I copy this maybe and just change it?
Yeah, let's just copy this and change it. Actually, since what we can do here, we can also in the routes. So in the routes, we can create a new folder called talks.
Okay, so I see what.
Yeah, yeah. You want to grab the
Talks,
URL,
and then I'll move this in and just rename it to index, and that will hit that talks route. Are we going to do an endpoint here?
Yeah. So in the endpoint, so we're gonna pretty much all we need to change here is the query, pretty much.
Okay.
So so what we can do, we can rename the console speaker to talks. All right, and then query talks, and then data talks has ID, but it has every talk will have I
A
think
description.
Title. Yeah, a description.
A title. Was it called title?
I think so. I forgot.
Title, yes.
Yeah.
And then there's a video URL.
Yeah, and there's a video URL, and it's also speaker information was there. Then you can have the speaker first name and last name, probably.
And so we would just open the object and then inside this do
First
it like
name.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I really wish I could spell today. That would be helpful. All right, so we switched everything over. We've got talks. We've got some data coming back from the talks, and then we're grabbing the speaker first name to go along with that. Okay.
All right, awesome. So let's just save it. And okay, so now
Talks route. Failed to import because we've got to go up another one here. It tried to auto-populate that, and I bet it didn't do the right thing.
Oops.
Oops, one more.
Yeah.
There we go. And we don't have any markup yet, so that's why nothing's showing there. Okay.
Yeah, so we can do like a similar type of markup, H1 with all talks, and then we can create another. So let's just take a look at.
We're just going to kind of copy this again, and that will probably be easier. So copy and paste all that, and here we'll just grab those and switch it to talks. Will that work?
Yeah, that should work. Just the first name and the last name probably won't work.
Okay. Because we're not doing, so talks is what we're querying, and then we're going into speaker. So what does this need to be here to fix that?
So it's going to be talks data. And as talk. So
as talk, and then
talk dot title, probably, because every talk has a title. And we can also do talk dot description, perhaps, or just the title is good for now. And description, perfect.
Okay, look at that.
There you go.
Now we need to see if we can get that video URL to work.
All right, so I actually have that. Since iframe is really, I have some love-hate.
Iframes are interesting things.
I am going to send you the iframe code.
We have a very interesting one on the Siren site. I have to use the embed URL like you're doing instead of the regular share URL. Okay, so I'll pop that over here. And let's see what we've got. We've got an iframe. We're setting the width and height on it. We've got our SRC going to the embed, and you set the ID. That's why we only pass the ID of the video, and that's the one that we are currently recording right now, right? So that will be that ID there. And that is it. I don't know why it is mad at us. Ally iframe element should have a title attribute. So we need to add a title. I love that it gives us ally things here. Every fauna with SvelteKit.
All right. I think current talk is not defined. So
talk is what?
I think current talk is not defined, so we just have to rename it to talk. Because that's what our for each.
Oh, okay.
string.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right.
it's still couldn't find name talk. Did you mean talk? So it probably doesn't need that because it's here. Talk.data.find talk by ID.video URL.
Oh, I don't think we need to find talk by ID.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then
Okay. Save that, and something happened. Console cannot read properties of undefined reading video URL. So it's not grabbing that video URL off of talk.data. Is it less console log?
yeah,
Talk here and see what we're getting back. There it is. Video URL. And it's just on the object. So is there no data maybe?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There we go. I think, there we go.
There it is. And that's not the right ID. What is that?
Well, it's just it's just a video. So
we'll see. Let me see if I can get the YouTube ID. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Live now. Woo. If I can get the YouTube ID. Oh, no. Don't start talking to myself. Okay, I passed that in, so I need to do that back in Fauna. And how would I go about updating some of my data here?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So you can go directly up to the collection. So
okay.
All right, so let's we're trying to
edit this.
Yeah. So here
this is the speaker object. I probably need to go to the talk one, right?
Yeah, so let's just go to collections and then just because you're on the right there. Yeah, it's at the bottom.
I see. Okay, so we're gonna edit that video URL and paste in the one that we are currently recording and just save that, and it's done.
Yeah, it's done.
Seriously, that's so easy.
There you go.
I'm so happy. Look at that. That is amazing.
All right. Awesome.
And we've got like 10 minutes left. Does anyone have questions or anything that you want to know more about? Oh, how to get rid of data. That's a good one, Bill. How would we delete or purge data from our database?
All right. So if you go back to the GraphQL endpoint, right
in
here.
our code or here?
Yeah. So here, if you go open up the docs again, so at the left side, so you'll see that there is a delete talk object.
Okay.
And this is just a mutation. And in our front end, just like we did the queries to pull data, we can use one of those to delete data.
Kind of a similar way as we created the talks and the speakers, we would just delete that here if we wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So like that.
Yeah, just like that. Let's open up a new tab. And we're gonna do that here. So you can, I think for delete, you only have to pass in just the ID and then
probably the ID. And how would you go about getting that ID? You don't want to return anything back from it.
Oh no, you can return return.
Oh, okay.
ID. Yeah, you can return stuff. I think you also don't need the data object. I usually just rely on the autocorrect here.
Oh, okay, I see. So you would just pass in the ID, and is that a query parameter or a query variable?
Yeah, it's a query variable. So no, we can just hard code it on GraphQL right now.
Okay.
So, yeah, we can hard code it. But if you're using URQL, then you just have to pass in a query parameter in your front end. You can take a look at the documentation for URQ. just to see how to do it. Let me just open it up quickly.
ID, and you pass it the ID. So you wouldn't do it like that though, correct?
You wouldn't do it.
ID, and you pass it here with
Yeah,
like
you could.
just in.
Yeah, in the strings.
Just the ID?
Yeah, in the strings.
Yeah. I don't want to delete that talk though, so that would be one way to delete like an individual talk. Someone else had a question, Gabriel, can't we just directly delete a collection? So I assume there's probably a way to also delete the collections.
Yeah, you can directly delete a collection. Yeah, so you can just go into collection and then you can delete that record. I am going to also put that link there. You can share that with everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Copy. Why don't we go ahead and I put that in the chat for everyone, the link that you just gave me. Do you want me to go to that link?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so here you have the documentation basically, and everything that we can write in the GraphQL playground, we can plug it in this library, the URQL library, and yeah, it shows you like how to pass in parameters. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. You can query, mutate data, update data, and you can do like a lot of can do a lot of cool stuff here. Like you can delete 2 collection at a time or 3 documents at a time, and like a lot of advanced stuff you can do.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I would highly encourage give that a read.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to push this up to GitHub, and I want to point, so we don't have Git initted yet, so I'm going to do a Git init, and it inits a repository for you. In the git ignore file, I made a pull request to SvelteKit to add the .env, but because we're using that, it's just a read, correct? So we're just able to read the information that's in the database. We're not able to write or mutate any of that data, so we can make that public. So in this specific case, I'm going to take these .env env files out of there, so it will push that to GitHub, so that will be available to everyone. And now I'm going to use the GitHub CLI to create a repo. FaunaDB SvelteKit is fine. Description, public, yes. And that is done. Git. I want to rename my branch to main, and I did this the last time we were on stream. Rename branch Git. I forget every time. It's -m, I think. Git branch -m? Yeah. Git branch. I love Stack Overflow. It saves my life. And the old name is master, and the new name is main. Failed.
Oops.
Master not found.
I think you can just do git checkout branch main and then push it to main. That should also do it.
Yeah, that'll work.
Commit. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, if you guys
upstream.
Yeah, just to mention one thing, if you guys are interested in like how to do, I know there's one question about like security and stuff. So if you guys are interested in about like how to do authorization and authentication in Fauna and with GraphQL, we have a really good tutorial coming up and a blog post that I'm working on. So please join our Discord channel for that. And yeah, we're creating a Svelte specific tool for authorization and authentication. So
is there an easy way to join the Discord? A link that I can drop in the chat for them to join, or is there one here on the website?
Oh no, I How do
I know
do
Svelte is like svelte.dev/chat will take you to the Discord. So I don't know if Fauna has like a vanity link set up for that.
that? Okay, you know what? Just follow us on Twitter.
Okay, so the Twitter for Fauna, let's go over here and show everyone. Oh, it would help if I put .com on that, right? Twitter, sign in, that's fine. Okay. We'll search for Fauna.
Okay,
We're going to give you a follow. Everybody go over there and Fauna on Twitter. Post
awesome.
that in the chat here. I know I struggle with Git daily, Gabriel. And also you should go and give Shadid a follow. He is at Haque Shadid.
Hey, look, that's me.
Give him a follow over there.
Oh, I posted the Discord invite. I don't know if that works, but
okay, yeah, I will grab that link and post it, and then we'll give it a shot. So there is the Discord link. And then one more question before we finish up here. Someone was asking about pushing to Netlify and Vercel. So if you wanted to do this, it should work because of the adapter auto that comes with SvelteKit now. So the only thing that you would have to go in and do, this adapter auto should detect Netlify and Vercel, but you would have to set your environment variable there. So you would have to go and make sure that you set this environment variable and copy it into either Netlify or Vercel and make sure that's in there.
all right.
All right. Anything else? I'm so happy that we got this up and working. It's going great. And in 2 weeks, we have another one of these. We're going to be doing kind of a database series going on. So we will be focusing on another one that should be coming out soon. And I will get more information out on the Twitter. You can also follow Svelte Sirens on Twitter to find out more about our upcoming events. And of course, in the Svelte Discord, we post all of the events for Svelte Society, Svelte, and Svelte Sirens. So thank you all so much for joining us. I'm very excited for where this is going and happy we got all this working. And it seems like it's so much easier than databases, I remember.
Yep. We're trying to make things easy.
All right. Yeah. Any suggestions too, Gabriel? I love to have suggestions. So in the Svelte Sirens channel, or just tweet at us and I will take all of them into account and try to reach out to some people. So thank you all so much for joining us and I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Thanks.